Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video. If it's your first time to the channel for daily news and info on the digital asset space, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. So I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet, full of information for you all regarding not only the XRP community and the XRP digital asset as a whole, but keep in mind, this channel is about all digital assets in the whole space, and I primarily cover XRP because, without a doubt, it is the most well-established in my opinion and the most reliable. And I consider it, in terms of an investment, as a bond in terms of its reliability of returns. Long term, however, I wholeheartedly believe it will blow past everything else in market capitalization when regulations come and it is truly utilized and utility comes. And again, this is a speculative market right now at this time, just like any nascent technology, just like in the .com bubble. You know, you're familiar with Amazon stock and Apple stock going up and down, then going back down to, $1 or below $1. And then again, where you see it today, for those that had that vision and patience, very few actually held Amazon until it was $1,500 per stock or $2,000 per stock. If you have that vision, you understand, and you can be patient, you understand that investing is an emotional game. That's all it is. And again, as Warren Buffett often says, is the stock market is nothing but, I believe it was something like a machine from transferring money from the impatient to the patient. So again, this is not get rich quick overnight. This is about making your money work for you and, taking advantage of the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest. All right, so I want to talk about the messaging standard really quick before we get into everything. So I did see XRP Villain on a thread on Twitter just talking about ISO 222 or ISO 20022, and this is the messaging standard, the standardized language that every network communicates with today. It's one of the messaging standards that we're trying to migrate to because it's going to create interoperability between all frameworks. So it's going to be removing friction and error, and it's also the backbone that will allow RippleNet, which again, and XRP to flourish. So RippleNet is the whole suite of Ripple products. And again, Ripple's the private company, and XRP is the main components. XRP by the company has said that it is the secret sauce to Ripple's success. And I'm not talking about just as a mere fundraiser and using our capital to fund their needs for growing the XRP ecosystem. I'm talking about succeeding as a whole to help remove friction and creating the true internet of value today. And again, I believe XRP Villain was talking about Swift's MT103 messaging standard. And again, ISO 222 is more so messaging codes specifically to initiate these cross-border transactions. And ISO 222 is not specific to Swift. So it's not controlled by them at all. Like today, Swift controls, it's a legacy system, non-for-profit, I guess, organization that is running today for all these cross-border payments. And again, we know it's slow and inefficient, and its time has come, and it's time for a revolution in terms of sending value as seamlessly as we send information today. So I just thought that was interesting. And again, Michael Zischek, his YouTube channel, highly recommend. Very smart. I believe he is German, and he was a programmer for 20 plus years. He's unbelievably bullish. So again, not financial advice, but I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel because he's just talking about different RippleNet integrations for banks to join and start using and onboarding XRP and utilizing XRapid or XCurrent 4.0 for their settlements today and going full board. And again, it's, let's say a relatively small bank, the average cost would, for the bank would be maybe $12.5 million. However, its payback period, would be roughly 15 months if just using XCurrent. However, if you're using XRapid, it's 11 months or less. And again, this is pending XRP had low volatility during this time. Granted, they'd be much happier if XRP goes up. There's a whole slew of reasons why that would be beneficial. And again, I'll be talking about some Cardano updates, ADA, in the future as well. I know Charles Hoskinson did talk about some updates coming at the end of the month. I feel like the whole digital asset space has been pretty quiet. So I do think that something is occurring on the back end. But really quick, right here, Vala Ashfar on Twitter. So this is a great quote, and I just want this directed towards the XRP community for patience, especially as we are seeing these temporary downtrends, and you have to keep that long-term vision. So when nothing seems to help, I go and look at the stone cutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times without as much of a crack as a crack showing. Yet the 101st blow, it will split in two, and I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone before. Exactly. I just love that. I thought that was very powerful and wanted to share it. Again, Stuart XRP at Stuart_XRP. This was yesterday on August 8th. Digital currency regulation around the world. And this is Ripple's, the two people at Ripple discussing. I believe this was it Monica Long? And then this was Michelle Bond. And again, Michelle Bond is Ripple's global head of government relations. And they're discussing this. And again, I believe this is Michelle. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And Michelle basically in this video clip and in the video they released, it's like a 17-minute video. We're actively engaging with 50 governments around the world, and I think regulators are hearing us. And obviously, as we know, the partnerships and the connections to 19 large central banks, if not more, and the R3 consortium, SBI, you're connecting the dots and you're seeing this happen. Again, XRP, when I found it, was fractions of a penny. And it was like that for a long time, seeing growth and growth and growth. And then it skyrocketed to almost $4. And now we are out of that speculative market for the most part. And again, the bulls are gone, and this is the time to buy. You buy when the streets are bloody. You buy when everybody's afraid. That is the time where investors are made, just as the digital asset investor emphasizes about the contrarian investor. You go against the grain when you believe in something. All right. Eric, and hopefully this is Daduan or Dowdown. It is EDADOUN, and this is very cool. So very bullish, seeing the liquidity impact of MoneyGram, the second largest money transfer service in the world. Deep liquidity eventually enables real players, for example, banks. You can't transfer meaningful fund sizes when the order books can't support a fraction of it while remaining stable. XRP price is meaningless for now. Exactly. And deep liquidity is going to be exactly what happens and allows these XRapid customers to truly be on board. And as liquidity deepens and these order books become, I guess, more flooded and, have more orders everywhere, and there's that built up liquidity, there's actually more use. XRapid payments will actually succeed instantaneously, and it'll have that domino effect that we're waiting for. All right. I want to go over this briefly. So I am Legion. So again, 2,000 coins. Tell me what other coin can claim anything remotely to this or have multiple other companies announce such statements. And this is NTT Data or NTT Everest. As part of the 5th largest IT service group and having a global coverage with over 150,000 consultants means we are well positioned to support Ripple in their journey of global dominance. My words, not those of Ripple. As we go on right here on Ripple Insights on the website, CEO and Executive Chairman Yoshitaka Kitao, and again, this is of SBI Holdings or SBI Group or SBI, and this is a huge banking consortium. About 60% of all the largest banks in Japan are basically led by Mr. Kitao here, and he strongly believes in XRP. I'll have to double check. Please let me know down in the comments. I believe Mr. Kitao, I know he's a chairman, but he also owns about 10% of the company, or at least SBI Holdings owns 10% of the private company Ripple. And here's a quote again, I've gone over this before. Not only does it have a clear use case, XRP is faster, cheaper, and more scalable than any other digital asset. I strongly believe it will become the global standard in digital currencies. And again, digital currencies, the global standard, I believe, is on the Ripple website, and they emphasize the world reserve currency. We're not talking about replacing the US dollar. We're not talking about replacing the euro. That it seems a little far-fetched for now. Who knows, 50 years out. But I'm simply talking about working on the back-end infrastructure of everything we know is today for the Internet of Value, when everyday people will be transacting, and XRP will be the settlement mechanism, and no one will know, and which is fine. It's doing its job. And I know you've probably read this when I started the video, Stuart XRP, top 3 countries running XRP Ledger Notes. Just so we can keep track of this again, right now it's the United States, Japan, and Germany. And today, 903 XRPL active nodes by the country. So if you want to take a peek here, and this was as of August 8th. So let's just keep track of all this. 149 active nodes, unknown location. So we'll be able to keep track of this. So actually 1,052 active nodes. So we'll see if these numbers grow. We'll see if liquidity grows, and we'll be able to measure the steady progress that we've been seeing. And again, as I talk every time, do not look price right now. You follow the fundamentals. You look at the reality of the situation. Investing is like a pendulum. Follow the reality, and eventually, as reality is increasing, which we're seeing, the perspective will catch up. Therefore, the perspective, let's just call it the price in this situation, the price will have to catch up. And that's when we'll see it catch up, and that's when everyone else will FOMO, fear of missing out, right into the market and push that price as well, if you're talking from the speculative end. And as we've discussed, the ground floor of utility is slowly rising. So sure, we're seeing a 29-cent XRP. 2018's low was 25 cents. I don't believe that we'll go below 25 cents in XRP ever again. I hope I'm wrong, because then I will just buy more, but I wholeheartedly do not believe we'll see below a 25-cent XRP again. The ground floor is growing. The XRP community is growing, not only utility ground floor, but also the speculative ground floor. Now, the speculators are actually still selling out, and a lot of them have, not even been holding for 2 years, and they're giving up. That's fine. They were here to get quick rich, and they weren't the ones, here to profit off of this, and that's completely fine. And again, as I Am Legion even says, I Am Legion on Twitter says, 2,000 other coins, other projects today, and you can see those on like CoinMarketCap or any other Coin Live Watch website. But again, Crypto Addy made a great point, and she said, there's 2,000 other projects. You can go choose those if, you're impatient, you're running out of time, and you want to see maybe 2x gains, but potentially lose all your money. Sure. But I am here for the long term. I'm here in an asset that will appreciate over time, a deflationary currency that, acts as a better store of value than Bitcoin, in my opinion, and is more reliable, faster, more scalable, and has the more potential for actual apps and utilization for, web monetization and everything in between. All right, and now let's talk briefly about atomic swaps. So there's been some talk, so let's kind of go. I'm not going to watch this video right now because obviously for copyright reasons, but I, highly recommend you guys check this out if you, want to understand cryptocurrency and the use cases and needs and why this helps. But really quick, this screenshot. So XRP Trump, and again, probably one of these smarter people in the XRP community. I have not seen him active in a very long time though. But here's this older one. He said, this is a powerful demonstration of what XRP can do with the Interledger protocol. And we've gone over that before. Another amazing use case is XRP Ledger's Pathfinder algorithm can also auto-bridge payments between illiquid currency pairs in one atomic swap using XRP as the bridge. Next, David Schwartz, CTO, very smart man, of Ripple, the private company. For those of you that think, Bitcoin came out in 2009 or whatever year it was, David Schwartz filed the first patent in 1988 based out of the US on blockchain technology. There's a lot of speculation that if he is not actually the creator of Bitcoin, that he knows, the group of, people that are. And again, I still believe that Bitcoin was kind of just a science experiment, a social experiment, really. So I'm not that familiar with Chainlink, which is another cryptocurrency that I'm bullish on, or Link is the ticker. But based on reading a few paragraphs about it, no. Interledger Protocol, ILP, is a protocol for atomic streaming payments between ledgers, crypto or non-crypto. So it's value agnostic. All right. And again, if you guys want a better understanding of atomic swaps, essentially, atomic swaps, also known as like atomic cross-chain trading, cross-chain meaning between changes, is the exchange of one, and let's just talk about cryptocurrency, is the exchange of one cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency without the need of a trusted third party. So for example, a trusted third party would be an exchange. So atomic swaps, or atomic cross-chain trading looks to revolutionize the way in which users can transact with each other, eventually replacing that trusted third party and creating a true internet of value. So for example, let's use the example of Alice and Bob. So Alice owns 5 Bitcoin, and that's a specific type of cryptocurrency, but instead she wants 100 Litecoin, which is another type of cryptocurrency. She would actually have to go through an exchange, which is the third party, and exchange Bitcoin, find the pair, and exchange it for Litecoin. However, with atomic swapping or atomic swaps, let's say that Bob owned those 100 Litecoin and instead he wanted 5 Bitcoin. Bob and Alice could make a trade directly. Now, in order to prevent, for example, Alice accepting the 100 Litecoin, but then failing to send, the 5 Bitcoin, atomic swaps utilize what is known as an HTLC or hash time locked contract. And so this hash time locked contract ensures that the atomic swap process is completely trustless, which is essential by ensuring that both fulfill the requirements of the trade prior to the trade. So these hash time lock contracts, they require the recipients of the payment to acknowledge receiving the payment prior to a deadline by generating a cryptographic proof of payment. If they don't, the recipient risks losing the right of the claim, the right to claim this payment. So therefore, it'll returning the funds back to the sender. So therefore, for a trade between Alice and Bob in this situation, both must submit their transaction to their respective blockchain. So again, Alice, she'll be submitting her cryptocurrency and Bob will be submitting his. So Alice on the Bitcoin blockchain, Bob will put, his Litecoin on the Litecoin blockchain. And now in order for Alice to claim the 100 Litecoin sent from Bob, she must produce a number that only she knows, used to generate a cryptographic hash. Therefore, this is providing the proof of payment necessary. Similarly, Bob, in order to claim the 5 Bitcoin from Alice that was sent from Alice, he also must provide that same number that was used to generate the cryptographic hash. So this is going to be instrumental in, and again, the IOP is able to do this with atomic swaps. All right, being able to send any value, and this goes beyond much further than just mere cryptocurrency and digital assets. We are talking about gold. We are talking about any forms of fiat. We are, the sky's the limit, really. And then any types of, exchange traded products as well. All right, and then we're going to finish up with this. This is a tweet from I Am Legion again. And this is just a really cool screenshot of Bob Way. For those of you that don't know, Bob Way was one of the original Ripple employees. And I think it was right in San Francisco when they had their startup before they, raised billions. And without a doubt, he signed a lot of non-disclosure agreements and he has to keep quiet to an extent, but he's still able to share and just answer some questions and be helpful to the community. This was back in April of this year. And again, he says this. Nice find. That is exactly why the term has become so popular. Once you have atomic settlement via 2 central banks, the game's over. Every other central bank will follow, otherwise their country would be at a significant disadvantage. And I just wanted to share that. I want to hear your thoughts about, atomic swaps and the Interledger protocol. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down below. Anybody that can answer them, I appreciate it. I sometimes do not have time to go through all the questions. And again, you can always DM me on Twitter. Just look up Kevin Cage. And again, profile's right here, Kevin_Cage_. So appreciate it, guys. And I will see you in the next video.